So what happens when a single lie, a lie that's born from pure fear, ends up putting an entire kingdom on the very brink of disaster? Well, today we are diving deep into an absolutely dramatic story of deception and divine intervention pulled straight from the ancient text of Genesis.
When you boil it all down, this story has three core parts: a prophet's dangerous lie, a king's terrifying dream, and a divine ultimatum that basically puts everyone on a collision course. It's intense. So let's start at the beginning, with the lie that kicked this whole thing off. All right, so let's meet our main characters, Abraham and his wife Sarah. They're on the move, traveling south, and they end up living as foreigners in this new land called Gerar. And it's right here in this unfamiliar place that Abraham makes a call that, well, it sets a seriously dangerous chain of events in motion. Okay, so here's how it all goes down. First, they arrive in Gerar. Simple enough. Second, Abraham, completely driven by fear, tells everybody, hey, this is my sister Sarah. Now, the consequence of this lie, it's immediate. King Abimelech, thinking Sarah's single and available, takes her into his palace. The stage is now set for total disaster. Just when the situation looks like it's about to go completely off the rails, the story takes this sharp, supernatural turn. See, the king, Abimelech, he hasn't laid a finger on Sarah. And that very night, he gets a message from God in a place he would never, ever expect, inside his own dream.
Can you even imagine hearing that in the middle of the night? I mean, this is not some gentle suggestion. It's a stark, absolutely terrifying declaration. The message from God is as direct as it gets. You are a dead man. This just rocketed the stakes from a personal problem to a literal matter of life and death.
But Abimelech doesn't just roll over in fear. No, he pleads his case. And he's got a pretty logical argument, right? He says, my hands are clean. I was tricked. Both of them told me they were brother and sister. He sees himself as the victim here. And you know what's wild? God basically agrees with him.
And that brings us to the ultimatum. God lays out two very, very clear paths for the king. Path number one, give Sarah back to her husband Abraham, who in this crazy twist is revealed to be a prophet, and Abraham will pray for you and save you. Path number two, if you don't return her, well, not only will you die, but your entire kingdom will be wiped out with you.
As you can guess, Abimelech wakes up absolutely terrified. The very first thing he does is call his servants, tells them about this insane dream, and then he hauls Abraham in for a major confrontation. The dream might be over, but the real-world fallout, oh, it's just getting started.
And the king is furious. I mean, rightly so. He directly accuses Abraham of bringing a great sin down upon his entire nation. From his perspective, the prophet, the supposed man of God, nearly caused the complete destruction of an innocent kingdom.
So how in the world does Abraham respond to that? He's cornered, he's been called out, and he finally explains why he lied. And his defense is this incredible mix of profound fear and a pretty shocking fact. And there it is. That was his core motivation. Abraham just admits he was acting purely out of self-preservation. It's a really stark reminder that even these towering figures from history can be driven to deception when they think their life is on the line. He just assumed this place is godless, they're going to kill me to get my wife. His lie was a survival strategy, plain and simple.
But then comes the twist. This is where it gets really interesting. Abraham reveals that his lie was, technically, a half-truth. Sarah is his half-sister. They have the same father, just different mothers. Now, that doesn't excuse the deception, not at all, but it adds this incredible layer of complexity to who he is and what he did. So with the truth finally out in the open, the whole focus shifts to making things right. And it's King Abimelech, the guy who is deceived, who takes these extraordinary steps to fix things and resolve the whole conflict.
And Abimelech's response here is just astonishing. He doesn't just give Sarah back. He showers Abraham with incredible wealth, livestock, servants, even an open invitation for Abraham to live anywhere he wants in his kingdom. It's a massive gesture of goodwill, a really clear attempt to restore everyone's honor.
And then you've got the money, 1,000 pieces of silver. That is a huge sum. To put it in perspective, that's about 25 pounds of silver. The text is super specific that this payment isn't hush money. It's meant as a public way to clear Sarah's name and prove that the king acted honorably.
The story closes with one last final revelation. Abraham, the prophet, he prays for the king, and God heals Abimelech's household. And it's only right here, at the very end, that we learn the full extent of what was going on behind the scenes. God had already placed a curse on the kingdom, making all the women infertile. Abraham's prayer is what lifts that curse, and the crisis, finally, is over.
So what are we supposed to make of a story like this? There are no pure heroes or pure villains, are there? You have a prophet who lies out of fear, you have a king who acts honorably even after being deceived, and you have this divine justice working in really mysterious ways. It really makes you wonder, what does this tangled web of fear, faith, and deception actually tell us about the complexities of human nature?